from what I'm seeing, obviously, Lemlist has popularized using content to advertise the brand. At ColdIQ, we actually imitated the playbook, the LinkedIn playbook. So, you had Guillaume that that went extremely popular on a lot of social platforms. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't see him on LinkedIn. He managed to get banned, I think, 3 to 4 times, and every time he would grow to 50K, 60K followers. That said, I know you have several other people in the team. You yourself has 18K followers. I know you have Luca that has 50, 60K, something like this. You've got Kevin with 70, 80K. I know Tal has 30K followers. Roxana has
50K,
50K as well. So obviously, I know that content is huge on Lemlist. That said, I would be very curious to understand your best acquisition channels and then how it funnels down to acquire customers.
Yeah, so clearly, and it was before I arrived because I joined a bit less than 2 years ago. And clearly the company was bootstrapped, so they never raised money. It's profitable, it has always been profitable. And I think definitely content has been a key enabler to grow in a profitable manner.
Yeah.
I think Guillaume has this natural gift, like say having genius of being able to create proximity at scale with people.
Yeah.
Actually, when we see what people write to him, like it's crazy. Sometimes there are people in love with him, like people like being obsessed listening to all these podcasts. And so he has this like genius zone that is not always reproducible, to be honest. Like I don't think like anyone can be G. It's not true. Like he is a genius in a way in that.
I think he's not really likable also. You see him talk and then he's smiling in the podcast and so on.
Yeah.
It's like you want to be friends with him almost.
Yeah, but he's like in real life. Like everybody asks me like when they meet me and they say, you work with Guillaume, how is he in the real life? I'm sure he's a bad guy in reality. He just fakes it. And I'm like, no, actually he's like that all the time. So he doesn't have to fake it. I think he's someone like he's positive. He's always positive. He's always smiling. It's like that. So he's not faking it. I can explain the playbook, but I think it's important that people don't think they just have to imitate. I think there are many ways to create a company. I've been in many successful companies. I've been at Scalo, I've been at Botify, I've worked for Spendesk, and I'm advisor for some companies that are very successful too. So for instance, if you take, I don't know, like Scalo, Kitri, she hates like being in public and speaking to people. And it's another playbook. So you don't have to imitate. What's sure that Guillaume Genius Zone was to do content. The general mindset was we provide value with no bullshit. When many people do like boring corporate content, there was he created a sentence called like B2B doesn't have to stand for boring to boring. That was actually funny. And he always genuinely cared about users and really helped them being very interested in their problems. And I think this created a lot of proximity and ultimately the brand, because then after there is word of mouth, there is community, people speak about Lemlist, they love Guillaume, so they trust Guillaume, so they will try the tool, even though the tool was really bad at the beginning.
Yeah.
They were still loving it. And actually there are stories, I will not mention the name, but there are even people who were advocating Lemlist and Guillaume realized that they were not even using the product. So they were lying, like they were saying like, I use Lemlist, I love it, na. And the guy actually never used it. It's crazy like how people are irrational and what has been able to create. And I think what they have been really good at, and I say they because was not here, Luca, Kevin, Roxana, they worked a lot to build their personal brands. Each one found a niche. So Roxana was about like marketing, content, so very sharp articles, a very sharp post on LinkedIn, very sharp, very well written. Kevin was build things around cheat sheets.
The cheat sheet guy.
Yeah, the cheat sheet guy. So he built actually something that people remember of, that's singular. Luca was a lot about workflows, automation, Google Sheet add-ons, etc. So they all worked very hard. Like they were working over the weekends to prepare their articles on top of their normal job. And so it's true that after there was this quite big audience, because like when you have 4 people who have like a large audience, it compounds and grows. And now it changed a bit because like I think they post much less. maybe they have some kind of fatigue. Guillaume has been banned. So it's good that Tal has been posting and Tal has been growing very well. So we still have some presence on LinkedIn, but I think it's much lesser than what it used to be. Guillaume is actually not able to do it anymore. Sometimes they go back a bit, but it's like, there is less of this, but I think it was enough to build the brands. And so if you look at our acquisition channel, you'll see that organic, meaning like SEO, but mostly in SEO, we often split between branded and non-branded. So branded is people who type actually Lemlist. Lemlist, when I joined, was like 95% of the branded traffic. So 95% of people like coming from
to
Google,
the website, we're typing Lemlist.
We're typing Lemlist. And so for us, it was a challenge to, because if you do that, like you depend a lot on the brands, and if the brand lose power and authority, then it's very risky for your business. So we had to mitigate that. And one of the things that was, I think, a key achievement was we need to have a company that can sustain besides G, it cannot be only what's called founder-led growth. So we had to find ways that it's not only founder-led, it's actually other channels. And I think we did that quite well. We started with SEO for non-branded. It grew very well, to be honest. Like we have now a team of 8 people or 7 people doing content. We try to keep the DNA of doing like quite very, very good content and not only optimized for Google, even though it's always a mix. So SEO now is like a big channel that does sometimes up to 15-20% of the traffic and the signups. It's actually more in traffic and less in signup because it converts a bit lesser. We started to do affiliation, which is another good channel that is now around 10%. So it's people who like you actually, like partners that we have who are fans of and like Lemlist and advocate Lemlist. So affiliation has been a good one. We don't do so much with Lemlist of like sponsoring, but it works very well with Taplio. So Taplio, we have big partnership with on newsletter with the creators on LinkedIn. But in Lemlist, we never managed to do it so well. So then we have paid marketing. So we didn't do any paid marketing for a while. Now we're starting to do paid marketing. Roughly, sometimes we spend around 20K per month, something like that. And it's quite profitable. It works quite well.